Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. So in this video, we will continue looking at advanced functions in spreadsheets. If you check out the previous videos, guys, we've looked at extracting and concatenate, up and lower functions, VLOOKUPs with extract, if statements with and or. And in the previous video, we looked at using if statements and embedding functions within the logical tests. So in this example here, we used an and to carry out two logical tests. We had to extract values from the student code, and if both values were true, then this was the true part of this if statement, yes. And if one of the values or both values were false, then this is what would have been outputted, no. So what we're going to be doing is lesson 5, if and nested functions and logical tests, part 2. Let me zoom in on the first example. So what we have here is some ICT grades. Okay, so we've got some marks here actually. And what we have to look at is the course codes. So the first two letters, ED, is going to refer to Edexcel, and the information is here. CA, from the first two characters of the course code, will refer to Cambridge, and AQ, this one here will refer to AQA. So we need to do two things first of all. We need to work out which exam board we're going to be looking at, okay? And then the second thing is we need to work out the grade based on the different exam boundaries. So we're going to look up this mark here, find out which exam board we're going to be looking up, and work out the grade. Let's do the first task. So extract the first two characters of the course code for the exam board. So CA is Cambridge. So let's do that first of all. So it's going to be an if statement. And I'll do it up here so you guys can see what we're doing. So the logical test. In the logical test, we need to use the left function. And we want to look at this course code and extract the first two values. Okay, if this is equals to, you can write it like this, CA. So if the first two values are extracted and they equal CA, then if that's true, comma, the exam board is going to be Cambridge. You can either write it in speech marks or we can click on the cell that contains Cambridge. So I'm going to refer to the cell here and I'm going to lock it. Okay, let's keep going. We have another test. So we're not yet at the false. So let's go down a little bit. Oh, great. It's ED was the next one. If the next cell is equals to, okay, so this was the next test that we need to check. If the first two values are equals to ED, so let's click on this cell here. So text and then 2 equals ED. Then what we want to do, if that's true, we want to output Edexcel. Okay, let's lock this cell here. And if the exam board is not Cambridge, is not Edexcel, then the exam board has to be AQA. So we don't need to do a logical test for the last part. We can just click on this cell here. We can lock it in. We can close the brackets, back to the black one. And just before I press enter, what do we expect to see? So the first two letters are ED. So the first logical test is not true, but the second logical test is true. So therefore, the exam board should be Edexcel. So let's have a look. Yes. Next one, exam board should be Cambridge. And then if you come down to here, the fourth one for ESA, the exam board should be AQA. So I'm hoping that's worked. Yeah. Okay, guys, now this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So what we need to do is look up these different table arrays for the different exam boundaries. So let's say, for example, Edexcel. This Marcus exam board is Edexcel. 35 would be a C grade. It falls within this range here, so 35 to 50 or less than 50. Okay, if 72 is the next mark, that's from Cambridge. On this exam boundaries, 72 should be a B grade. Okay, so let's go ahead and check. And what we'll do is we'll do it in this order. We'll check if they're Cambridge first, and then run the VLOOKUP. If that's not true, we'll check if it's Edexcel next, run the VLOOKUP on these columns. And if that's not true, then the false value will be just to do a VLOOKUP on AQA. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. So the if statement is going to be looking for the exam board. So this exam board here, we'll do it up here, is equals to Cambridge, and we can lock this cell because we don't want it to move down. If that's true, then what we're going to do is a VLOOKUP, and we're going to look up this mark here in this table array for Cambridge. So we can highlight this table here, we can lock it in, comma, we want to output the grade from the second column of what we highlighted to, comma, and we want the exact match. Let's close this bracket and get back to the if statement, comma. If that's not true, we're going to now check if the contents of E6 is equals to Edexcel. So we're going to type in here if again. Okay, so if E6, I have to just type it in, E6 is equals to, this one it might have as capital or not, but we'll make it the same. If E6 is equals to this cell now, and let's lock it in. And if that's true, then we're going to do a VLOOKUP for the true statement. So let's click up here, VLOOKUP. And what we want to do is we want to look up this mark here. I think what I should have done here is approximate. True, yeah. I don't know why I selected false there. And I'll do it again. So we're going to look up this mark here. And if it was Edexcel, okay, we're going to look up this table array here instead. So let's highlight this table array, lock it in, comma. The grade is going to be in the second column of what we highlighted. So we can type in 2, comma, and it has to be an approximate match because these marks are not exactly matching up with these marks here. So it's going to be approximate. Let's close this bracket, okay, and press comma. We're at the false now. So if the exam board was not Cambridge, if it wasn't Edexcel, then it has to be AQA. We don't need to do a logical test right now, so we can just do a VLOOKUP. We can just continue, so we can basically look up the mark in D6. So I can't click on D6, so I'll just type it in. Okay, comma, and we can now come down to this table array here. We can lock this in, comma, we want to output from the second column, comma, and we want an exact match. So let's click on fault. So not an exact match. I'm doing that mistake again. We want an approximate match because these marks don't exactly match up with these values here for the lookup. So let's select approximate. Now it's time to close all the brackets until we get back to the black one. Since we start the black one, press enter. And let's see what we get. So as predicted, the first grade was a C. So why is it a C? Because the exam board is Edexcel. 35 for Edexcel would get you a C grade. If it was the other exam boards, you can see it's not going to be a C grade. It's going to be less. And yeah, it's going to be less here as well. So for AQA, the C grade starts at 40. And let me drag this down, or let's just before I drag down, let's make another prediction. So 72 for Cambridge should be a B grade. So it's between these two ranges, not quite an A, but it's above 70, or equal to 70 and above. Yeah. Let's have a look at AQA. So 53. So it's greater than 45, but less than 60. So it would be a B grade. 53, I said, wasn't that? Yep. So guys, what we've done in this video is we're using basically if statements. Oops, daisy. So the first if statement was to extract values from here. We're looking at the first two values of the course code to find out which exam board we're looking at. Okay, then here we're looking at the grade. So based on the exam boundaries from the different boards. So these are made up values. So they don't correlate to the actual exam boards. I've just made up some values. If you want to change them, you can do. Was there any A stars? So for AQA, there was 2 A stars, okay? What you can do is you can change this value here. So let's change that to 76. And we've lost one of the A stars here. So if you want to change the values and have a play around, you can do, but that's changed accordingly. Right, guys, I'm not going to do this task here on the right-hand side. This is for my students to practice. I will make this sheet available at some point soon in the future as well. If anyone wants it, you're welcome to email me and I can send it out to you guys. Right, please join me in the next video where we look at using VLOOKUP, and we're going to be using value and extract. In this task, we've been extracting values as text. If I go to here, and in this task as well, we were extracting these ones as text, but in the next lesson, we're going to be looking at extracting these values as numbers, integer values. So please join me in the next video, and thank you for your time. Bye-bye.